Happy December! It has been, I guess, a couple weeks. Maybe not really. I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time since I picked up the camera and vlogged, but I guess it's only truly been like a week. I haven't vlogged since Thanksgiving, or the day before Thanksgiving when we closed on our house. And I have a few things to catch you guys up on with, you know, like what's going on with life, what's going on with the new house. It's so weird. I don't have anything to catch you guys up on with what's going on with the old house because we already sold it. So this is like my first vlog not having anything to do with that house anymore. It's very odd. So other than the house, things have been like right when I thought that everything was going to settle down, I went, signed, closed on the house. I'm thinking like, whoo, yes, like finally I can announce to you guys that we have sold our house. We're living in a temporary like rental home. We're building this new house. Everything is amazing. I've got this huge news to share. And that same day, my hard drive crashed. My hard drive that I stupidly had all of my content saved to, and I didn't have it saved to a cloud, even though I know I'm supposed to. You don't even have to jump down my throat in the comments. I know that I should have had it saved to another place. The reason that I didn't is because I used to have everything back up to the cloud automatically, and it just completely filled up my cloud like so quickly. So I turned it off, I moved everything to a hard drive, and actually I was already planning on, once the move was already done, to go back and back up everything on the hard drive to the cloud. And then, of course, as it seems like it always happens, the hard drive crashed right when I was finally at a point where I could back everything up to the cloud. So I took it to one data recovery service. I paid $200. They weren't able to get anything off of it, which is a huge bummer. And now my hard drive is at another place trying to get the data recovered off of it. If they can't get the data off of it, I don't have to pay anything. If they can get the data off of it, it will be anywhere from $500 to about $2,000, just depending on how difficult it is for them to get the data off of it. Now, that content is my life. It's my entire business. So, of course, I will pay whatever I need to pay to get the data recovered. It just really sucks because obviously I was not budgeting for that, you know? So, unfortunately, at the time of filming this, you guys still don't know anything that has been going on with me behind the scenes since July, and it's just really starting to piss me off that I'm having to keep this huge secret. And then, of course, when it rains, it pours. So as I'm like having a full-blown meltdown trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do about my hard drive, I get a text from my manager to let me know that the brand that I was supposed to be working with on the floors for the new house unfortunately had to back out due to budget constraints. And so now we don't have floors for the new house. Like none at all. We had already opted to get standard carpet and standard tile installed in the house because this brand that I was supposed to be working with was supposed to be supplying all of the floors for the new house in exchange for me to create content for them. Which, for anybody that's not familiar with content creation and influencer marketing and things, I know that that sounds crazy. Like, what? They were just going to give you the floors? But when you think about it, all of the content, or 90% of the content that I make, is about my home. So not only would they be getting a couple videos from me right off the bat of like showing, hey, here's this floor that I chose, walking them through the process of why I chose them and what I love about the floors, and here's how the floors are going to get installed. But then for the entire time that I own that house, that's free marketing. because every single time somebody watches a video and asks, hey, what floors are those, I can always refer them back to this company. So I realized that with our last house, people were always messaging me, asking me, where did you get your floors? What brand are those? Do you like them? How do they hold up? Blah, blah, blah. So I really tried to use that as like leverage as I was reaching out to different flooring companies, because I literally have the receipts of how many people ask me all the time about my floors. Unfortunately, this brand that I was supposed to be working with was the only brand that I could find that was willing to give us the floors in exchange for work, endorsement, ads, whatever you want to call it. And so now that they're unable to fulfill that anymore, option number 1, we could use the budget that we intended to spend on getting the floors installed, and we could use that same amount of money to put towards buying the floors ourselves, and then Ira and I can install the floors. Now, that doesn't sound very fun, installing 2,500 square feet of floors by ourselves, but we would save a lot of money. Like, we're talking thousands of dollars. We would save a lot of money. Because remember, we had only budgeted for labor. We hadn't budgeted for materials. So now option 1 is just to flip the two. Spend that money on material and then save the money on labor. Option number 2 would be to spend the money on materials and spend the money on labor. So I'm actually going to go over to Floor King, my favorite place in Austin to get flooring and tile. I also used to work there, so you guys have seen me, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me partner with them a couple different times when I'm getting material for product. So I'm actually going to go over there in just a few minutes and talk to them and see what my options are, what does flooring even cost, because like I haven't really been looking at price per square foot and like pricing everything out, just because I didn't really think that I needed to do that for material. I thought that I was just only gonna have to do that for the labor part of it. And then option number 3, I'm gonna talk to our builder and see if it's possible for us to change our flooring selection and how much that would cost us. I know that we will have to pay a change order fee in order to do that. I think the change order fee is $1,000. I think we have to pay $500 to the builder and then $500 to the design center, since we'd have to go in for another design center meeting to be able to change that option. So it kind of sucks to just blow $1,000 just for the opportunity to be able to change the floors. But if we are able to do it through the builder, it saves us from having to do any work of like tearing things out and then getting something new installed. It allows us to bundle the price of the flooring directly into the cost of our home. So it would make the price of the home go up, obviously. But then we're paying for the floors, like spread out in our monthly mortgage payment, rather than having to shell out tens of thousands of dollars right after we close to get it all done at once. I don't even know if they're going to let us do it. So I'm actually at the builder's office right now to talk to our salesperson and see if that's even a possibility. If it is a possibility, it's all going to come down to cost. How much would it cost for us to do it after the fact? How much would it cost for us to do the labor ourselves, even though I don't think that Ira is going to go for that. That's just not his thing. Doing projects like that is not his thing, and that's a big project. Even just in our last house, we hired somebody to, Floor King, actually, we hired them to install the floors, and it took a team of, I think, 3 guys, 2 days to install our floors, and that house was around like 1,800 square feet. So we're talking about quite a bit more flooring, and it took 3 professionals 2 days to do that house. So I don't even want to think about how long it would take the 2 of us, or potentially even just me, to do our entire 2,500 square foot house. But it would save us a lot of money. So I don't really know. But basically, yeah, it just all comes down to dollars and cents. So I'm going to go run in and see if our builder can help us out and sympathize with us a little bit. We're also on kind of a time crunch because we are about to get drywall, and typically when you're at the drywall stage, you only have about 60 more days until you close. So we don't really have a lot of time, you know? If they are going to let us do it, I'm thinking that it's going to be like yeah, you can do it, but you need to have a decision by like middle of next week or end of next week so that we can actually order the material that you need. So let me quit chit-chatting and go see if this will work. So I'm not even really sure where I left off last time I was vlogging. But something exciting happened between like then and now. I finally started uploading these vlogs to YouTube. Like, I realize that won't seem like a big deal to you guys, but when I tell you I have been recording things for YouTube all year, and I have so much vlog footage from the summer of me being like, I really want to get my YouTube videos uploaded, I really want to get that done, I really want to start on YouTube, and like just kind of never being able to do it. I really don't know why I thought that I could launch an entirely new platform in the middle of planning a wedding, and then we had a month-long honeymoon. Like, I don't know why I thought that I was going to be able to accomplish all of those things all at the same time. And then, of course, once it got down to November and I finally had like a chill moment, we were done moving, and I was like, oh, yes, finally. Now I can upload on YouTube. Then my hard drive crashed. So it has been a freaking long time coming, you guys. And I'm just so happy that now, finally, it's up, and you guys know, you know the deal, you know the biz, you know what it is, you know that we sold our house now, and like I don't have to second guess every single thing that I post and make sure that like nobody can see the background, so that nobody starts to question where I am or question the boxes in the background. And like, I know it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I just felt like if you guys knew, if people, I'm not really talking to you guys necessarily, because I like you guys and I feel like you have only, I truly feel like you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be here, basically. But there are some people on the internet that like to, you know, watch what people are doing, and they don't have the best, they don't wish you the best, basically. And so I was like, I don't want to tell anybody that I'm moving, because my house is on Zillow, and I don't want anybody to know exactly where I live. Like, moving is one of those things that like makes it kind of puts your address at risk when you're like in the public eye, if that makes sense. Just because now your house is out there, and especially for me doing so much home content, you guys know what my herringbone ceiling looks like. You know what my built-ins in my fireplace look like. Like, there's very iconic moments in my old house that I was like, as soon as somebody sees this on Zillow, they already know whose house this is. So yeah, that was my only thing, why I like felt like I had to keep it a secret. But now it's done, so I'm really glad that that's like out of the way, and now we can all move on with our life and continue to like move forward. I'm here at the house now, sitting in front of the house, and I've got to be honest, I don't know how I feel about the stone. I was so excited for the stone, and I was so excited to get white stone. Let me preface this by saying there's nothing that can be done. What's done is done, and it's going to stay like this, and there's nothing that I can ever do to change it, so I better just get over it right now. I don't feel like they did the best job on the stone. I'm going to ask my realtor about it, because he actually used to work at a stone quarry, and so he is very familiar with what it should look like. It just seems like they used a lot of really small pieces on it. And in our last house, where we also had the white stone, there was a lot more larger pieces. Say it one more time for the camera. You do? Yeah. I don't know. I still don't like all the little pieces, but I mean, It is what it is. You can't change. We must be getting sidewalk and driveway pretty soon. This is painted now. It's white instead of like the regular yellowy color. Look at that! Gosh, that's bright. Yeah, I'm really glad that this color didn't end up anywhere where the stone is, because this is bright. Like, that is a bright white. Yeah. Which is exactly... No, White Heron was the last house. This is pure white. Chilling in our office.
Yeah, it's an office. Nice. I'm gonna be right here.
I feel like we could do exactly the same design that we came up with, except instead of the couch being right here, it's just like a love sack in the corner, a love sack in the corner, and it will take up, you know, a lot of space because they're so big. Yeah. But then like just do like kind of a table in the middle, and then it just gives us both our own like kind of separate chill spots.
Yeah. I was also thinking maybe my this could be on this side, because isn't the bar supposed to be right here?
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't.
I wasn't gonna use all that storage, but you were going to use all your storage.
Right. So then the bar was gonna go right there.
You can't see it, but I feel like the bar could be like a staple piece that you could see when you come in. But either way.
Yeah, I guess it does make more sense. I kind of want the bar to go on this wall, like this way, not on that wall. Yeah. Just because you have so much depth here that I feel like you could do something on this wall specifically, instead of just like if you have a normal cabinet to here that like comes out, it makes like this area kind of like dead space. You can't really put anything. But if you make it kind of like wrapped the corner, so that you know what I mean? Like you wrap the corner and then put bar on that side. I don't know. But I like it, and I'm excited to make glass doors for here now. The frosted glass doors will look really nice. And it makes better use of the bonus room, and I think that will be more of a statement. We can do more with that giant room than it just being a big-ass gym.
Yeah, and we can still easily throw that inflatable bed thing in that closet.
In the closet in the gym. Yeah.
So now we're gaining a room for a guest, gaining a room for another guest, also a guest room, but will be ultimately nursery, and then we still get the gym and office. Right. With the windows. Yep. So I think that, to your point, that makes it feel more like a house rather than potential nursery, my office, your office, gym. Yeah. It just didn't make, I don't know. It made sense it would have worked, but I feel like us having the shared office works better. Because it's so big. It wasn't like we're sharing like.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. No clue when the last time I recorded anything was, so I don't really know what you guys have seen, what you haven't seen. They have made so much progress. I think it's probably been like a week, maybe a week and a half since I last filmed, because I was just kind of getting tired of like, okay, here's what's new today, and like these little tiny updates. So I was like, you know what, I've still been going over there and like popping in to check and see what everything looks like, but I figured I might as well just save the update for you guys until it's like a bigger update to see all at once. So now that the cabinets are in, we technically have 45 days until we're supposed to, roughly 45 days until we're supposed to be able to close. That puts us closing right at the end of January, but it's looking more like the beginning of February, just because we have Christmas and New Year's holidays in there. So things at this time are going to start to like slow down a little bit more with the build process, because people are going to be off of work, obviously. Our fingers are crossed that we can get in before the annual freeze. If you're from Texas, you know, or if you live in Texas, you know, for the past like 3 years, we have had these like crazy ice, kind of snow storms, freezing temperature weather, every year right around February for the last 3 years. And I know for those of you that are in like Michigan and like New York, like places where it actually gets cold, you're like, oh, that's nothing. To us, it is a big deal, because it is not supposed to be like that here. The plants are not made for that. The roads are not made for that. We don't have snow plow trucks. We don't have salt trucks. So like that completely shuts our state down. And where we're at, like out in the boonies, not good. So we are like really hoping that we can get into our new house before the annual freeze happens, basically. It's definitely gonna freeze sometime in February. We just don't know exactly when it's gonna be. That's really the only thing that's like, I wouldn't say it's making us nervous about the timeline, but that's the only thing that we're kind of like keeping in the back of our mind. That's the deadline. I feel like every build always has like some deadline that somebody's trying to hit, whether it's you're trying to get the house finished before a baby arrives or whatever it is. That's our deadline, is the damn freeze. I can't even tell you guys how happy this makes me. Y'all know I fought hard for our baseboards to be done when we moved in, because I did not want to have to do them. And luckily, we found it in the budget. And so I'm good on baseboards. They've already started installing them. I'm so excited. Here are our doors. Oh my gosh, these 8-foot doors. I can't even. Now the builder would not paint these the color that we wanted. We want all the doors to be black in the house this time instead of gray. The builder's gonna paint them white, so I'll have to paint them black myself. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me okay, but like, look, it's starting to look like a real house. I can't wait to get in here and do like custom closets and like storage everywhere. Being in here and seeing that they just butt these together, I'm like, why was I even wasting my time doing mitered corners on every single one in the last house? So if you guys remember from a previous vlog, this was the sink that they accidentally plumbed that they were not supposed to. So what they decided to do is just cap it off. So somewhere this side. So we still have like access to the plumbing. I don't know if they're gonna cut those a little bit shorter or what. But like on this side, we actually will have a sink here in this bathroom that gets hooked up. But on that side, we will not, which is totally fine. We weren't really expecting to have one anyway. But it's nice that they accidentally plumbed it for us. The wall texture is all on. I don't hate wall texture as much as I once did, but in our next house, smooth walls for sure. Look at those pretty white cabinets. Oh my gosh. Can you picture it with the cabinets going all the way to the ceiling on both sides? This is gonna look so pretty. They did mess this up actually. I think probably because there was no note written for the trim guys that this is actually a waterfall island. So this trim so this trim shouldn't be there. So they have already measured for countertops. So once they come back out, they told us that would probably be on December 27th. So I'm guessing that the countertop guys will just pull this trim off, and then they'll have to have the trim guys actually come back and fix it. Then in our bathroom, we got this kind of like honey color, same as what we did in our previous house. Even though it's a different cabinet company, this is like pretty much the closest that we could get to our previous house, and the only thing that kind of gave us that white oak look that we were going for. And I really like it. I like the bright color in here, and I think it's gonna look really good with the tile we chose. This is a room that I haven't really looked at yet. I honestly forgot that we even got shelves in this closet because our mind is so made up that like we're not keeping these shelves. But I mean, I guess it's not like, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not the most efficient use of space. Like you can already tell this corner right here, what's happening and like what can you actually store in any of those or in either of those sections. So yeah, this will definitely all be coming out, and it kind of sucks that they didn't just immediately give us the like third row of hanging space up there. Like think about it, this wall right here, your stuff probably only hangs to here, so this is wasted space and everything here is wasted space. And this shit is like cheap for builders, so I kind of hate how they don't like actually plan out a closet that's like functional for people, and they're just like, here's some shelves and some rods, however we just feel like doing it the most, cheap way. But that's why we go back and change things, people. That's why I have a job. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that's new. Well, not pretty much. That is everything that's new. You guys just saw it all. I do want to, though, circle back to that little conversation that Ira and I had about combining our two offices, because if I remember correctly, we talked about that the other day on here, but then I never really clarified or gave any context or talked to you guys through our thought process for that. I mean, you kind of heard it in our conversation, but basically we were just thinking why take up 2 rooms in the house with them both being offices when we could just take up 1 room in the house, and then that kind of frees up another room for something. And that room, our bonus room, is just so huge that you can very easily accommodate both of us in that space, and it won't really feel like we're on top of each other, I don't think. But I've got videos to edit, so let me go get to that, and I'll check back in whenever I have an update. See ya. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I have no clue where we're at in this vlog. I don't remember what the last thing was that I kind of shared with you guys, but I'm at the house right now. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, by the way. I'm at the house right now. Countertops are supposed to be getting installed today, but our builder never told us what time, because the countertop people never said what time. So I have basically just a little stakeout plan for today. I packed myself some snacks. I've got some scones, some pretzels, there's an apple in there. So I'm planning on just sitting out here all day and working on editing from my iPad until the countertop people get here, so that I can record that, because I'm super excited to see what the countertops look like when they get installed, because I have been kind of nervous about that since they're black. So yeah, I'm just gonna be here waiting all day for the countertops, basically. $122 and the countertops are finally here. Oh my god! They're working on the bathroom countertops right now, adding the sinks to the countertops. I think they just cut the holes for the like plumbing fixtures. It's so cool to get them, like to be able to see them working. I feel like such a creeper. I'm still inside the car. I'm just like super zoomed in. And even though they know, I already asked them like, hey, is it okay if I take video and stuff? I just still feel like a creeper just sitting in my car recording them work. Bathroom countertops looking real nice. And Ira just showed this to me. We get countertop in here and up here. This is another thing that we were not supposed to get, but I'm glad that we have it.